Hello, I'm Pastor Don Wolf, pastor at Cornerstone Worship Center, and I've got 3 other pastors who are also part of this church. On the far end is Pastor Michelle, and Pastor Mike, Pastor Ernestine, and just me. First of all, we want to apologize. I think it's been 2 weeks since we cut one, but there's just been too many other things that took place, so we had to.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
The weather wasn't too good.
Yeah, the weather was part of it. But anyway, this being getting so close to Easter, I thought maybe a good short study on Jesus as he was getting ready or preparing for going to the cross. And so that's what we're going to do. And it's a study out of Luke 19. And we're going to be starting with the first verse and going from there. And so I'm going to start with my wife and ask her to start with the first and second verse.
Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, who was a chief tax collector, and he was rich.
Anybody for the tax collectors? Well, nothing's changed, that's for sure. Jericho was a, what would we call it, an import city? It was one that...
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's right on the ocean side, wasn't it?
Yeah, as the trade from other countries, it would go through there, and it was his job to tax them at a rate that the Romans demanded. Now, that was what he had to turn in. But then what happens is he could charge anything he wanted. They had the freedom. Still, nothing's changed, has it? No, I guess we should say that. But anyway, so people didn't like him. Matter of fact, they didn't like any tax collectors.
No.
Again, nothing's changed.
And part of the reason, especially like the Jews didn't like the tax collectors because they were Jewish people that were tax collectors, and some of them were they?
Most of them.
Most of them, yeah. So they thought they were traitors.
They're traitors because they would get taxes for their enemies, the Romans. And so
making money off their family and friends.
yeah, they, as far as the Jews was concerned, they were criminals.
Yeah.
And they were sinners. And plus the fact they weren't Jews. So they had 3 strikes against them. And so as they saw this, that gave them, well, let's go to the next and let Mike read 3 to 6, please, Mike.
Okay. And he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not because of the crowd, for he was of short stature.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Okay.
So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass by that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him, Zacchaeus, have haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house. So he made haste and came down and received him joyfully.
Yeah. Doing some research on some of the word study here, that statement for today, I mean, to us, that means now.
Yeah, present.
But it didn't in the original language. It said salvation is for today. So here's Jesus going to a sinner's house, and going to Jesus' house, he's saying, today's your day of salvation. No wonder.
He was happy.
But no wonder the Jewish people
We're angry.
And so they looked at Jesus as being a traitor.
Oh yeah.
Because, first of all, he was a traitor for the Romans, and the Romans were hated. And of course, the Jewish people in those days were not to associate with non-Jews.
Yes.
And so we got all types of problems that's taking place. So now that's all set up. Jesus is starting his last week in the outskirts of Jerusalem. And as he's doing this, he's teeing off the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Mm.
But what's he there for?
Die.
Huh?
He's there
Salvation.
for Salvation, to die.
Salvation, but when he's salvation, he's bringing it to all people.
All people, yes.
Yeah. Michelle, would you read 7 to 10?
But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, He has gone to be with a guest with a man who is a sinner. Then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, I give half my goods to the poor, and if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold. And Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, because he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost.
What's your any comments on that?
He's coming for the ones that need salvation.
Yes, yes. And now, this doesn't mean that just because Jesus was invited into his house, that is an act of
Yes.
salvation.
No, no.
But what is important, he asked him to come into the house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jesus asked, and he said, yes, come.
Yeah,
And because
he allowed.
he allowed. So Jesus is bringing salvation to anybody
Mm-hmm.
who will allow him to come and die.
Yeah.
It shows that it was changed because they were gonna restore fourfold.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So he had a change of
He was
heart.
submitting, he was a
sinner.
sinner.
Yep.
So he was doing, in those days, Jesus hadn't died yet, and good works
Was their way. to
was
heaven.
their way of attempting to get to heaven, which
Yeah.
we know when it took them to the promised land. But anyway, that's another issue.
Mhm.
So he was atoning
Mhm.
for the things he did wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Ernestine, would you read Luke 19:11?
Now, as they heard these things, Jesus, spoke another parable, because it was near Jerusalem, and because they thought the kingdom of God would appear immediately.
Yeah. That was a false, I guess I should say teaching,
Yeah.
those days, that they thought that the kingdom of heaven would be an instantaneous thing to take
Yes.
place.
Mhm.
And
He was gonna set up the kingdom.
he was going to set up the kingdom. And now we know that eventually Jesus' kingdom will be here on earth.
Yes.
But it sure ain't today, that's for
No.
sure. We got a little thing to go through, like a 7-year of,
Tribulation.
little
Trials.
distasteful things, yes.
I think we're going through some of those now.
Yes, we are. I like to look at it this way. If we're going down into a town, we're going to a town called Paradise. And as we approach the town, they have traffic lights. And we see yellow, caution,
Mhm.
rather than green, so that we can go in. But in that long, we're in the caution area, where we can see the things that's wrong,
Mhm.
but it's not really part of that 7-year span. God is training us.
We're in
Yes.
we're in the prepping stages.
Yeah, right, for the nastier things to come. Because the word does say in the last days, and the last days means the 7 days. In the last days, there's going to be a great falling away. And
Boy, you see it too.
we said, we got, out at noon, I was watching a little bit of news which I do every noon at home. And everything that was on there was about sin. I mean, we're not talking about smoking pot or something like that, but it's talking about where thousands of people, it affects thousands of people. Well, Satan has been set free.
Yes.
To do his thing for 7 years. And I'm not saying he's free yet, but he's released a whole lot of imps, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness,
He's,
yes.
yeah, and even he knows his time is coming.
Oh, yes, he knows his time is short. And it's just like us, if we knew that next 1st of April, we was going to die, wouldn't we do everything we could to please the people around us? If you're any type of human, there's some, but the devil has only a period of time. Now, does he know the exact days? No.
No.
Yeah, like we don't. But he knows what's taking place. Because the people in the spiritual realm know a whole lot more than us in the physical realm.
Yep.
And they're working in the spiritual realm. Did someone read 1911?
No,
I did.
You did, that's what I thought.
I thought we were, oh yeah, that was our one for, never mind.
Yeah. Mike, would you read 12 or 14?
Give it a shot. Therefore he said, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. So he called 10 of his servants, delivered to them 10 minutes, and said to them, do business till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a delegation after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
Okay. First of all, a menace was worth about 3 months' salary. I guess if we knew the value of a menace, we could figure out what the salary, but that's not important. But he gave them 90 days so that there was a little more than a little pocket change. And let's see, where am I here? The parable is based on a historical event that can be found in the writing of Josephus. You know who Josephus is?
Famous history writer.
He's a famous Jewish history writer.
Yes.
And everything he wrote about was factual. And so a lot of things that takes place in the Bible, you'll find Josephus writes about it. However, Jesus sent a delegation to protest the appointment. Why did they do that?
They didn't want him, apparently.
They didn't want it. They knew that he was not a righteous
Yeah,
man.
he was
Yeah.
the same as his father.
Right. I'm back to you, right?
No,
Oh, on.
Michelle.
I don't mind. 15
Would you
to
read
19.
15 and 19?
And so it was that when he returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to whom he had given the money to be called to him, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Master, your mina has earned 10 minas. And he said to him, well done, good servant, because you were faithful in a very little, have authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Master, your mina has earned 5 minas. Likewise, he said to him, you also be over 5 cities.
Okay. The first two gained interest on what they were given.
Yep.
And Jesus is, in the story, he's
Yes.
rewarding them more money because they gained money. Now, I think there's a great lesson.
Yes.
We, us, have been given eternity. We have been given the richness of heaven. We have been given the power and the authority of heaven through Christ.
Yes.
So we are not to be content with what we have received. We're to invest it in other people.
Yeah.
And the question is, and I'm not speaking to us, although it probably applies, how good have we done? If we had, Christ called us today and says, well, I gave you all these things, how did you invest it?
What did you
Probably
do?
poorly, very poorly.
Yeah, I think we fall way short
Yes.
of what Christ expects.
Yeah.
Because he's freely given it to us. Now he says, go out into the world
And freely give it.
Freely.
and get rid of it
Yeah.
or invest it so it can multiply. And I mean, I've understood this concept for a few years, but it took me a long time to understand why.
Well, I always thought it also meant like when you earn, like, you're supposed to share your testimony.
Well, that's what, yeah.
And that way you win more people.
Right, and maybe I didn't,
Yeah,
yeah. Everything he's given us, and he's given us the testimony.
yeah,
And we're to share that
yeah,
so it multiplies.
Yeah. And and he's up, like, well, with the four of us, he's given each one of us some wisdom and some knowledge of the Bible, just like he did with his disciples. And so, what have we done with the knowledge he's given us?
yes.
How have we shared that knowledge with other people?
Yes.
And even, one of the things I noticed here too is the one doubled what he had, got 10 times more than the other one, only got 5 times as more than they had, but he's still rewarded. And I think even though we may not get the full return that we were given, God still is gonna honor us for what little bit we have done.
Yeah, and
And we don't get the reward we could have gotten, but we're still getting rewarded even for.
and we see that
Yeah.
in the next reading, that God, let me just fictitiously, God tells me I'm to bring 10 more people into heaven, and I bring 6. Well, I've fallen short of God's goal,
Goal of 10.
but I was faithful in investing
And bringing
what
us
he
up.
did give me
Yeah.
to bring others in.
Yeah.
So, and maybe God does have a number, I don't know.
Yes.
But he does have he wants our commitment
Yes.
to spend what he gets us. So there's an investment on
Not
that.
hoard it.
Yeah. Ernestine, would you read 20 to 25?
For I say to you that to everyone who has will be given.
That's the
And-
wrong one.
Is that the wrong one?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
up
sorry.
20
Okay.
and 25.
Then another came saying, Master, here is your mina, which I have kept. Put it away in a handkerchief, for I feared you, because you are an astute man. You collect what you did not deposit, and reap what you did not sow. And he said to him, out of your own mouth I will judge you, you wicked servant. You know that I was an astute man, collecting what I did not deposit and reaping what I did not sow. Why then did you not put my money in the bank, and that at my coming I might have collected it with interest? And he said to those who stood by, take the mina from him and give it to him who has 10 minas. But they said to him, Master, he has 10 minas.
Reap what you did not sow.
I think of something else on here. It sounds like he's calling his master a name. You collect what you did not deposit and reap what you did not sow. And then the other man, and then he says, I will judge you, you wicked servant. You know that I am not collecting what I did not deposit and reaping what I did not sow. It's like he's calling him a crook.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I never thought of it, but, yeah.
That does make a good point, cause he's calling him out on, you gave us money and you're
Yeah.
reaping the rewards,
Yeah.
and, yeah, you didn't do anything with it.
And plus the fact, he did not trust the multiplication of what he was given.
Yeah.
And if we trust that God will take what we spend and let him do the multiplying, then God is pleased. But here, it's a different story. It's mine.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes me think of, maybe I shouldn't say this, but other churches that, they just have so much money. The big churches that do, well, why aren't they trying to reach, why aren't they investing it in missions or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of what I read the other day. And I want to say this, but not, people probably know what I'm talking about. A pastor of a large church, and the number I won't use the number, but he is going to receive a salary worth many millions of dollars because the church has got millions of dollars. And praise God.
Right.
Man, I tell you, if I had a million, there'd be a lot of happy missionaries.
Yeah.
But what he's, that money belongs to him because of what he's done.
Shouldn't it belong to the community or to God or missions?
It belongs to God.
Right.
And let's ask God what to do with it. The man is already a multimillionaire.
Right.
Yeah, he's got, I think it was,
Planes and
well, I think he said he's got a garage, hold 30 cars. And 30 cars are all $1 million cars. What do you do with that many cars?
Yeah,
Hey,
Store them and collect dust.
yeah, they do.
I have two, and I have two in my garage that sit there, and I drive them in the summertime, but in the winter they collect dust.
Lots of dust. Lots of dust.
But I do take it out and I do use it, but this man, I mean, with that much money, he could feed a small country.
yes. And I think we need not to beat up on him, but because that's God's job.
Yes.
Right.
But at the same time, what we're just trying to say is, if God gives you something and you release it to do God's work, then there is a reward from heaven,
Yes.
not from man. There's a reward from heaven, and that pleases God. So when we pass on, or the rapture, or whatever takes place, then there's a mansion, and I hate to use that word, there's a place for us that's far better than what we've got now.
Yes.
And maybe there's gonna be a difference in size or something like that, depending on, I mean, that's up to God. But regardless, if I had the worst shanty in heaven,
It'd be far better than anything here.
amen. Amen. But anyway,
Go for a nice log cabin on the river.
yeah, I think what it's telling us, that whatever God gives us, we need to invest it in God's work. And that's our labors.
Yes.
That's labors. And we do that, then God is pleased. And then,
We just need to, it teaches us we need to trust God
yes,
with everything, our time, our finances, our jobs. You know, I know you quite often have told us that you, all right, Lord, what can I do for you today? And, you know, with me, with the job I have, I pray in the morning, Lord, give me the strength to do what I need to do today, and give me the ability to do it. And sometimes I don't know if people do that, because they get so stressed out with their jobs that they forget, but I give my job to the Lord, and God has really shown me in the last few months that what I'm doing is being his hands and feet.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to him. I give him the glory. So
yeah.
and it gives me the ability.
Well, you all know that 22 years I worked in a corporate environment. It was not a pleasant place to be.
Right.
And many times I told God, can I quit?
Been there.
Yeah. And he, most of the time, didn't answer me, but until a situation comes in, and then I know that I don't like it, but I'm there for a reason. The reason was I got to retire when I was 52 years old, and allowed me to go into ministry, and because of that, I had to suffer 22 years. Now I've suffered many years of ministry. No, I haven't.
I don't know.
From one suffering place to another.
You have to put up with some characters in this line of work.
Yeah.
I was speaking of myself more than I was the other two, but yeah. I know what kind of a handful I can be.
But I forget where we were.
We're down at the handkerchief.
Next to.
Oh, okay. Who read? You did.
I did.
Mike, would you read 26
Yes.
and 27?
For I say to you, that to everyone who has will to be given, and from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. But being here, those enemies of mine, who did not want me to reign over them, and slay them before me.
Ouch.
Yeah, he wasn't happy, was he?
No, can we take that and draw that down on us?
Yes.
Yeah, because if we don't do God's will, or as Christians, if we're being disobedient, we're his enemy.
We're not gonna make it if we don't.
Yeah, we're gonna get slayed, that's what it says.
And you go to the end of Revelations,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not quoting right because I'm not good at quoting, but
Paraphrase.
I'll paraphrase. Those who are obedient, and I'm changing, not one word I can't find.
Is faithful to the end.
Yes. Say it again.
Who is faithful to the end.
We'll stay to the end. And here's what he is saying, I believe, that we have to be faithful to his word. And the only way we can be faithful to his word is to know what his word is.
Yes. Yeah. I think that he's saying, if we don't want him to reign over us, we're in deep trouble.
Yeah, there's 2 points that I want to make here before we end. We begin running out of time. The rule of God demands fearless venture, even risk-taking.
Yes.
Think about that. And second, the enemies of the king will be slain.
Be slain, yes.
Think about it. But I like that first one. The rule of God demands fearless venture, even risk-taking.
Yeah.
And it does. I remember Mike when he was going to Africa with us, and the old board, he hadn't even flown yet. He had never been on an airplane. Now he's going to fly 6,000 miles and be in the air for 13 hours.
It's awful, isn't it?
18 hours, I'm sorry.
It wasn't bad.
I thought it was terrible.
It wasn't
The
bad. It
time-
wasn't that bad.
The time, I mean.
I
it's
couldn't
so long.
sleep, that's all. It was
No.
just.
Well, I never sleep any, but the noise keeps
You
me
can't sleep.
awake. Well, we're down to a minute. Anything you want to say before we close?
Well, I sure don't want to be one of his enemies, that's for sure.
No, me neither. But you know what?
Yes.
It wasn't too many years ago that you were.
Yes, that's true, yes.
Isn't it sweet to be set free from the chains
yes.
of your past?
Yes.
Well,
Sweet, sweet feeling.
I hope that you're understanding what we're trying to draw out of this as Jesus was approaching the cross. And next week we will hopefully be back with you. And I thought we'd finish this in 2 weeks, but it doesn't look like it might be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If we could get one guy to shut his mouth. Be blessed. We'll see you again.